Proverbs chapter 4:23. Watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life. I'll start the sharing. I'll share from the memory verse just a few thoughts that I've been meditating on as we were thinking about this memory verse this week of what it means for me in my walk with the Lord to watch over my heart with all diligence. Jesus said in John chapter 7, verse 38, that rivers of living water will flow from our innermost being if we come to Him thirsty and if we believe in Him. And this water, as our memory verse calls it, springs of life, can bless many people around us. And for me, as I think about it, the biggest beneficiaries of these springs of life coming out of me are the ones that are closest to me, my family, my wife, my children. And I see a warning in our memory verse that the quality of the springs of life depends on what I allow to enter my heart. And so my heart and my thoughts can act like a filter that either allow clean springs of life or dirty springs of life. So I wanted to share a couple of things that I could practically consider to make sure that the water that my family is receiving is pure from my heart and that it is coming from the Lord. So I'll share two things that I was thinking about. The first is having anxious thoughts. I must watch my heart with all diligence, as our memory verse says, when I have thoughts of anxiety creep up within me. I think we're living in a time, if I look around me, there's people around, they're losing their jobs, and it can affect me as well. So our jobs could be at risk, our loved ones may be going through a difficult time, or there may be some sickness around us. So there's a lot of reason I can have to be anxious. And the Lord, in His wisdom, could allow these different circumstances in my life to test my faith in Him. So when this happens, what is it that I want my children to see and to know? I want them to know that we have a loving Heavenly Father who always takes care of our needs. Matthew 6, verse 25 and 26, I'll read that. It says, "For this reason I say to you, do not be worried about your life, as to what you will eat or what you will drink, nor for your body as to what you will put on." And further goes on to say in Matthew 6, your Heavenly Father knows what you need, that He will provide. So if I want to help my family have this supreme confidence in the Lord, if I want my kids to grow up to have strong faith in the Lord, strong faith in His love for me, it starts with me taking my thoughts seriously, about me taking my anxious thoughts captive in my heart. And so as I think about this memory verse, about the springs of life that are flowing to the loved ones around me, I can watch my heart with all diligence. When these thoughts creep up in my heart, I can say, Lord, you have promised to take care of all my needs, so I don't have to worry. The second type of thoughts that I want to think about, or that I thought about, were thoughts of bitterness. Hebrews 12, verse 15. This is another memory verse of ours from past years. It says, "See to it that no one comes short of the grace of God, that no root of bitterness springing up causes trouble, and by it many be defiled." This verse tells me that others can be defiled by bitterness that I have towards someone. And so I want to be an encourager in the house. I want to be an encouragement in the house. And I must be diligent then to watch over my heart, that no root of bitterness comes up. These could be little irritations, little annoyances, little tit for tats in the house that are in my heart. They reside in my heart. And the Lord is asking me to be diligent. The word here is diligence, and not just passive about, oh, I'm just going to ignore them. No, diligent with watching over my heart that these thoughts are not springing up and causing trouble. And the Lord also gives me the solution to how I can get rid of these thoughts, whether it's anxiety or bitterness. We see in the same verse in Hebrews 12, verse 15. It says, see to it that no one comes short of the grace of God, which means that it is by asking the Lord for his grace in the midst of the circumstance that I can overcome these thoughts, that I can take them captive. Sometimes it may feel very difficult. I really want to say that harsh word, but I can say, Lord, you have promised grace, and I want to rely on your promise. And the Lord is eager to help me. He's eager to help me as I am being diligent in seeking out for him, to watch over my heart, over these thoughts. Last verse I want to share is from Matthew 5, verse 8. It says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So as I seek to have a pure heart, to see the Lord in all circumstances, that he is in control, planning for my best, always eager to help me overcome, that my life can be a blessing to those around me. So I can be diligent knowing that my God is very eager to help me in guarding my heart and blessing those around me. So that's what I wanted to share.
Hi, brothers and sisters. I want to share from this week's memory verse. Watch over your heart with all diligence. Far from it will flow the springs of life. Proverbs 4:23. As we heard and we meditated around last week's memory verse from Deuteronomy, that God has given me a promise that he will circumcise my heart and to love him more. And there is another promise from Ezekiel 36:26 that God has given me, that I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. So God has given me these two promises, and as I was meditating on this week's memory verse, that I should do everything in my power to watch over my heart, that new heart that God has given me. He takes away, as we heard from last week's sharing also, he takes away all unnecessary things and from our life that is not needed for my spiritual progress. And I kind of, it's a simple picture that came to my mind, that we had to replace our countertop in our kitchen a few years back, and we replaced it with a very white, light countertop. And any food that spills over, especially with Indian cooking, it shows up pretty much every time. And some of the times we leave it and we forget to clean it up, and next day the stain is very hard to remove. And especially in the nooks and corners where we don't notice, it's very hard to remove the stain. It was, since I do this every day, so it kind of came to me that my heart is also like that, and God has given me a clean heart, and he has promised me that he will circumcise everything. He'll show me everything, every stain that can come into my heart. I need to clean it then and there. If I just keep it lingering in my heart, it will have a permanent mark in my heart. And this was really timely and helpful this week, and I shared this situation on Friday Bible study as well. On Thursday, there was a situation involving my neighbor where I felt that I was being cheated, and the first emotion that came out of me was the anger. And I was not visibly angry; I was just talking to him, but then in my heart there was anger. And as I was thinking about it later, and God showed me that yes, cheating is sinful, but being angry and in your heart is more sinful. And if you keep thinking about it, lingering on it, it will destroy your heart. And as Brother Prime was also saying, everything that springs out of my heart will be, my family will be affected by it. So if I keep that anger in my heart, it's going to affect my family life as well. So, and finally, I want to, other thing that Lord has been showing me this few weeks is that my time is limited in this earth, that I need to be very cognizant of how I spend my time. And as we see in Psalms 90:12, teach us to number our days, that we may present to you a heart of wisdom. And I was actually listening to Brother Zach's one of Brother Zach's message, and he quoted 1 Corinthians 7:29 and 35. He kind of combined these two, saying that the time is short, and have undistracted devotion to the Lord. Uh, so I want to make sure that I am disciplined, as we see in 1 Corinthians 9:27 also. Paul says he is very disciplined, uh, and he doesn't let his emotions get in the way. And I want to be diligent and disciplined, so that, and I guard over my heart, especially when I have very little time. We have little time in this earth compared to, we don't know when he might come. And so I need to be very diligent on how to spend my time. Thank you.